Hey, what's up? Yo, thanks for joining. This is Gemini Nat, one of the best hackers in the world, joining me for Crypto Harlem live stream. Thank you. It is Saturday, August 26th, and I'm not on the streets of Harlem. This is just some kind of like really interesting effects. But after a lot of travel, after going to DEF CON, after going to Black Hat, after going to B-Sides Vegas, after going to Women in Cybersecurity Awards, after going to SquadCon, after going to all that stuff that was going on, I'm back here in New York, but I'm inside the studio, so I'm just going to get rid of the fakeness. Boom. So yeah, here we are, just chilling. Okay, so thanks for joining us today with a really cool episode, really cool show. Let me just get the mic popping. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and switch over to it because there's just a lot of media happening right now. All right, so thanks for joining us. Yo, that finger snap, right? I decided to try to do something cool, so hopefully that worked. um, all right, so let me make sure that my sound is right and everything is working as it's supposed to before we launch into today. Yeah, I think I need to switch. Nope, it actually switched over for me, which is dope. And let me also put some music on for you. Thanks for joining. We actually have some snacks available. They are in this cool virtual cybernetic thing called Your Kitchen. So just go to Your Kitchen and open up your refrigerator, and there are some snacks for you, complimentary of the stream. So, you know. Okay. But let me get this going for real. Put some music on, make you feel at home. And then we're going to jump into today's topic, which is hacktivism. And one thing, let me try to let's just get up these sounds. Let me try to get these here sounds up. One thing that, is really important to us here at Crypto Harlem is the idea that hackers are making the world better and actually hacking. And as whatever you want to call it, I don't know if it's a community, I don't know if it's a job, I don't know, right? Like, depends who you ask. We moved away from that. I think like cybersecurity as a job has become like thing that people really get obsessed with. But yeah, no, like there's this thing, it's hacktivism and it's real. So, and it's about picking up, putting your hoodies up and your keyboards down and making the world better while your friends are marching and protesting or writing letters or voting. And you can do those things too. You have this extra ability to have the power of a million people by just having some technical skills, right? So yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. I'm just gonna put this on right now. Do I want this sound? No, I don't like that. I think what I want to have is a different background. Put on a different background. I'm gonna put on this one. Here we go. That's much more chill for the conversation that we're gonna have. And so yeah, a lot of people they think hacktivists, they think like, you're gonna be walking around with a Guy Fawkes mask or something, and maybe that's part of it too. But there's a history, a movement of hacktivism, and I think they get lost. And it's something that we really care about. But also, if you learn about cybersecurity, hacktivism, or being a hacktivist is a negative thing. And what we want to do is just recapture that idea so people have a better understanding, and they have this idea that it's actually a positive thing. You can do hacktivism in a legal way, in an ethical way, and in a positive way. It doesn't harm the world, actually makes the world better. And we're going to talk about different organizations that have been labeled hacktivists. So like that includes Autisti Inventati, right? It includes Rise Up, right? It includes groups like obviously Anonymous, right? And it includes distributed denial of secrets, And so what we want to do is we want to like talk about people who really like doing amazing positive things, and you know, maybe we'll even talk about the early days of WikiLeaks and what that was. And I think it'll be cool because it's not something we're just going to cover in one stream. We're going to break it down, and of course, yes, of course, the number one Crypto Harlem in the house, like true life, you know, showing it how it's done, hacktivism. You know what I'm saying, from the streets, because it's great when it's a group of nerds in the basement, and it's awesome when it's a group of journalists or reporters or, you know, anti-fascist activists. But what's really dope is when it's regular people who are directly impacted by these things, who, for self-defense and for their community, are like really leading the charge. That's what Crypto Harlem does. So yeah, so we're going to talk about all these different groups, and I thought today we can just like touch on one of the groups, talk about them a little bit, and I'm gonna see if I can like queue up. Okay, let's see. Nope, can't find it. But we're going to be talking about a couple different groups, and I'll have this stuff queued up as we talk about each one. We're also going to talk about indie media and crime think. So let me just like put them all in the chat for you. Boom, we're going to be talking about them. We're going to be talking about indie media. We're going to be talking about crime think. You know, and it's cool if you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's probably even better. And boom, we got crime think. We have, of course, anonymous. We have, of course, rise up. We have, of course, distributed denial of secrets. And last but definitely not least, first in your heart, Crypto Harlem, you know? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool, everybody. So there's a book. Like, one interesting thing about all these orgs is like, there's some written literature, there's some scrappy interviews that exist, but a lot of these groups, because they started out pretty mysterious or underground, there's not a lot of like information about them. And so after being around for 10 years, Artisti Inventanti had actually taken a bunch of interviews and a bunch of their history, and they published it as a book. And they have a manifesto, which I thought would be interesting to read, and also share the book, which is because they're all about sharing everything openly, egalitarian, no leadership, no faces, no names, you know what I'm saying, just keyboards or whatever. They also published the book online in many different places for free. So I thought it'd be cool to just kind of like go through it. But we're going to start by taking a look at their website and some of their services. And then and for each of the groups, I will see if I could get like someone to talk to us, like a cool interview for each of the groups. So I think we're going to spend like maybe a stream and a half or a stream or 2 streams on each of these groups. And, because like I've been around for a while, I have a pretty wide network, and we'll see if we can get some folks to chat. Oh, also, I want to add another group to the list that we're going to do, and they're pretty awesome. But let me just pull up a few things at once. That's a Gen Z for Change, which are a pretty awesome group. So yeah, I'm just gonna add Gen Z for Change there. So yeah, if you want to be a nerd and you want to get ahead of today's class, you can. For some reason, every time I type something, it keeps getting started out twice. So it's not GG and Z for Change, and it's not DDoS, distributed denial of secrets, but whatever, it's all good. So yeah. Oh, also, I think I'm using the wrong camera, so let me switch. Oh yeah, and I'm using this horrible resolution. What is happening? Okay, we're going to high res. I'm switching cameras. Oop. Oh yeah, makes so much more sense. And why am I at this weird angle? Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Oh man. Let me fix this. All right, dope. Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's go. Let's jump in. Let's learn. Let's talk about these organizations, what makes them different, and I think like hopefully like their stories will inspire you. I think like that's actually a good thing, and that's what I hope to get is like, just some inspiration. Hey, what's up, EB Cyber 73? Appreciate you. Yeah, we got that wide view. I'm giving you a big hug. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Before we were like all up in my pores, right? It was very dramatic, So yeah, we can do that. So yeah, okay. So about the book and about the manifesto, about the services, let's dive in. Okay. So here's the link to the site. I'm just gonna throw it up on the screen right over here. Magic, right? And here we're gonna just show you what the site looks like for the first group that we're gonna be talking about. And we're gonna spend today really kind of digging in a little bit about, these Italian activists, technologists who are trying to change the world for the better. Uh-oh, it's the feds. Can't talk about hacktivism. All right, well, it was a good episode. I'll see you guys later. No, just a siren horn. So yeah, let me pull this up for y'all. Another snap. So if you visit the website, it'll say, welcome to Audacity Inventati. And it talks about AI, not AI like ChatGPT, but A/I, and how they were started in 2001. And they say like, our group was born in 2001 from an encounter of individuals and collectives of the autonomous anti-capitalist movement, interested in technology and active in the digital rights struggle. We believe that this world is far from being the best world possible. Facts, right? And we react by providing a platform and tools for digital self-defense, addressing the need for secure, free communication, privacy for activists and other individuals. And that's how they start. That's how they kind of welcome you to their setup. And they talk about all the services which are free without any form of control, no commoditization of personal user data. We don't receive any form of compensation for our work. We're all volunteers exploiting the experiences we accumulated over the years in technological, political, and legal research while doing radical activism. We're motivated and inspired by the principles of solidarity and self-organization. Our financial strategy relies exclusively on voluntary donations. And again, we provide more, just services. strictly for non-commercial use, no money, anti-capitalism, in order to provide support exclusively to individuals or groups that we feel we have an affinity with. In order to verify the existence of these preconditions, each and every service request is processed manually by one of our volunteers and is in a dialogical form. All requests are anonymized and will be destroyed. So if you want to use one of the services, let's click on services, right? You'll see that they have email, they have blogs, they have a mailing list technology, they have a web hosting technology, they have a kind of like a secure instant messenger chat kind of platform. They do video conferencing, streaming, and then they also have some anonymity services, they say. And now the services that we offer have no defined price, but as you may easily imagine, keeping the whole system working is very expensive, _very expensive, right? And when you click on very expensive, it tells you how much it costs. And it's like, listen, we pay over like 10,000 euros a year just for connectivity. And like we cost like 1,000 euros a year for our banking, You can figure it all out. They're basically like, look, without 20,000 euros a year, we can't run this. That's the cost of our infrastructure, over 20,000. So please donate, And I think it's cool that they kind of like talk about the reality of money and how all technology, because of bandwidth cost, because you're going to hit some kind of infrastructure at some point that doesn't care about you, you can't just run it yourself. As much as you DIY it, like that's a very low cost, like if you were to like think about it, you're messing with like $20,300. And that means that the entire like activist infrastructure that they run everything on is less than $2,000. It's $1,691. How's that? You like those math skills, you know what I'm saying? Math nerds going nuts in the back, okay? So yeah, that is that's real, okay? So when you want to sign up for the services, you have to fill out this like dialogue, this form, right? And before you can request an account, you have to read the manifesto, right? Which talks about like more detail of like what their core beliefs are. And you kind of have to like pledge that your beliefs are aligned and in allegiance with these very chill beliefs, about tools and professionalism and like no logs and privacy and open source technology and, all communication must be free and for free and therefore universally accessible. And like, there should be no masters, no gates, no controls, all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I think they're kind of dope. And yeah, that's just one of the groups that we're talking about. So now, when they were around for 10 years, so like around 2012, they published a book. And I was lucky enough to get a book from a member of this loosely defined activist collective. And it's really beautiful. If you look at the book, it's pink here, okay? It has really nice binding, right? You'll notice like it doesn't have a barcode. So you can't like, it doesn't have like an ISBN number, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh yeah, it does actually. It does have an ISBN, sorry, it doesn't have a barcode, but it does have an ISBN number for your libraries and your processing. So it's like professionally published, right? Let me just put that in here for you. ISBN 978 94 923 02 16 8. Okay? Boom. So right there. Let me just put that up on the. Boop. Okay. So this is this book. The book is called Plus Chaos, right? 10 years of hacking and media activism. Authenticity inventati. Boom. Coming at you right there. Okay. And it's actually a dope book. It says a series of readers published by the Institute of Network Cultures. And if you go to the Institute of Network Cultures, you can actually just read this book for free, right? Which is a website, Theory on Demand. And the book is dope. And we can actually, the book, the way it works is, it's like a collection of interviews and like thoughts and ideas of people who were like living through this moment. It includes like good things and bad things and triumphs and losses, and it's very realistic. And I think that's cool because if you don't tell your own story, someone else will. And for a lot of hacktivist groups that are like very decentralized by their nature, that could be problematic if someone else is telling your story, especially when you have so many adversaries, people who like really don't like what you're doing. Okay. Now, while some people have adversaries, and we might have one or two advertisements, we have supporters, allies, companions, interested parties, the curious, and that's you out there. So I just want to take a second to just do a quick roll call and just give you some props and support and thank the people who make it happen for us every day. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, oh man, so sad. I'm watching a pizza commercial. If you get a pizza commercial, it requires you to, one, not be subscribed. Two, something about you is getting you this pizza ad. Like me, I don't know why. I'm vegan. Why are they showing me cheese getting pulled out of a stick? Yeah, so sorry, we broke for an ad, and it was the funniest thing. It was like the most like, I don't know who this ad is for, so. Oh wait, am I, hey, let me know if I'm choppy. Am I like 10 frames per second here? I'm fine? Okay, cool, thanks. Because like, when I look at myself, I look kind of weird. All right, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was just gonna do a quick roll call for y'all. So let's see who's with us. So right now we got D Elixir joining us in the moderator situation. Thank you so much, D Elixir. Ear horn to you. I mean, where would we be without you? You know what I'm saying? So thanks for moderating and keeping things flowing and letting us know how things are going. Of course, we're joined by 01 Ella. Thank you, 01 Ella, who's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, where are we without 01 Ella? You know what I'm saying? Always joining, always tuning in, appreciate it. Casey Mod, haven't seen you in a minute, Casey Mod, that's what's up. Thank you, Casey Mod, for being here. Dancing with Burritos, not just always in the stream, but loud up in the Discord as well. If you go to cryptoharlem.com, we have a Discord, and you can just click on the little Discord logo, little like alien head video game controller thing, and yeah, you can just join in, and that way you don't have to just wait patiently for another Saturday. You can actually have a full discourse with me and the crew, the squad that are our interns, those awesome teenage activists as well, the pros, people who are guests, like they're all up in the Discord, so jump in there as well. Drap Snap. And here T-Shobes, here T-Shobes, and Kata. So appreciate you, okay, as well. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for joining, you know what I'm saying? Dancer Burrito says, big shout out D Elixir. Look at that. We got moderator fans, you know what I'm saying? All right. And yeah. So it's really cool that you can take advantage of some of these like technologies and services. And it's hard to set up these open source technologies and services yourself. They're free, so you can go download them, but you can actually set them up incorrectly. That doesn't like look out for your privacy. You can set them up in a way that isn't looking out for deleting your logs. And so that's why people would use a service that's run by a hacktivist group, because it actually will help you in the long run, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's like the dope stuff about this, okay? What else did we want to get into? Please give me 1 second, let me set up that. Setting up our outro already, like it's like time to go. Oh yeah, so we were talking about the book. Let me share the book with you so you can check it out, okay? I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'm not trying to sell you this, right? In the spirit of this hacktivist group. So here are a couple different places where you can read the book. The Network Cultures also has it, so let's get you that. Cool. So here's the book on the Institute of Network Cultures website. I'm just gonna put that in the chat. And then let me just like show that long string. Okay. So it's networkcultures.org/blog/publication/chaos 10 years of hacking and media activism. And yeah, this is like basically like an indie media group. We'll talk about indie media later. Maybe that we actually should talk about that as a as a solid like whole episode of what indie media was and what indie media Italy is or was. And you can click on that link, and if you follow the link, you'll get to this page that looks a lot like this. And you can just click on this issue box, and you can read the book. And it tells you about AI and how they were started, and talks about like who wrote the forewords, which are really good. It's like different people who were touched by the work, who like each you could tell a whole story on. And this is, of course, was originally in Italian, so it was translated into English and other languages. So this is the translation crew that gets props here. And it was published in 2017 in Amsterdam by Institute of Network Cultures. And maybe we'll try to get someone from Institute of Network Cultures on as well. But when you click on this box, which is the issue box, then the book, you decide that you don't want any cookies, and then the book will show up, and it looks like this. And you could actually literally turn the pages and read the book. I think that's the coolest thing. When you're using issue, you can use this little find magnifier thing to search. You can go full screen, and it's kind of like an e-reader. You can double click to get a nice zooming in, and yeah, you get the actual book here, and it costs you $0, and you can like feed your mind. And I love how it starts. It says like, this is just one of the prefaces. It says prefactuous, the invented voices of a unique and unrepeatable autism. And it says, prepare yourself to read a book where cryptography-obsessed activists lay bare their organization and the digital communication that has totally or partially accompanied your existence in recent years under the banner of media activism literally materializes and even gets nicknamed repeatedly. And it's weird, like, I always wonder, like, is this the style of this particular intro, which is a good one, or was this the translators? But the book reads so interestingly, and I'm just gonna like fast forward because the book isn't a normal narrative. It's like copy paste pieces of interviews, even chat logs. And there's things like this here where someone's just like, asking questions, and just it's conversation, and it almost reads like a screenplay. Like it would be so easy to turn this into a cool comic book or animated thing or film, like Mr. Robot style thing, because a lot of it is written in this style where here they'll say like Florence, and it talks about like Florence, Italy, and a group called Sagamati, and this person here is like talking about like, well, before Inventati, there was Sagamati, which was a reference point since we've decided that we needed to work on news online. We got this thing together, and it's really cool. It really it is a little disjointed because it jumps around and it's different people telling their recollections of things that happened, but it's actually kind of cool. I think they did a good job of like making it work. And I'm happy to share it with you, so, when people talk about, I always say, like, when you see a hacker in a movie, they're like the cool person in the van with all the screens and they're typing and all this other cool stuff. But like, when you see a hacker in a hacker conference, they got like a corny day job. They're working in cybersecurity, make 6 figures. They're not really helping the world in any way, nor could they. They don't actually have like applied security skills. No disrespect to y'all, but like if you're sitting there looking at a SIM all day or working at a security operations center, that's not what people expect. They want you to be like, getting in and, like in the mainframe and all that other good stuff, like my brother always says. So yeah, I mean, and it's about like actually having those skills. Now, if you want the direct link to the issue of this, you can just click here. And this is the direct link to just the book outside of, Network Culture's site. So if anything ever happens to Network Culture's site, you can also visit this issue here, which is issuu.com/Institute of Network Culture/doc/chaos institute, right? And another place that you can find it is on archive.org, which is like a snapshot of every website, a historical snapshot of every website. And you can also post documents and files on archive. And so again, they made sure their history will always live by putting it in the Internet Archives, archive.org. So I'm just going to show that as well. Cool. So no matter when you're watching this, archive.org details/chaos 10 years of hacking and media activism, Ortesisi infettati. Okay, so boom, knock that out, and you have them. And I think what'll be cool is if also we can talk about some of their services, and I'll get into my hacktivist state of mind or whatever here. Okay, hold on, let's see. So let's look at some services. Let's go in. Look at code. It's on GitLab. You can make a copy of the entire website if you want to here. It's pretty cool. Let me share this out to y'all. So GitLab is like a GitHub, and it's this open source technology where you can use Git, which is Git is kind of like a video player for your code, and you can rewind, you can jump forward, you can edit and splice, but it's always recording any code that you make. And this technology is called source control, and it allows you to control your source code. And while Git Hub itself is like a website run by a company, I think Microsoft owns it now. GitLab is just, Git is an open source technology. Let's just make our own software that anyone can have their own thing. So a lot of these hacktivist groups have their own GitLab instance. And if you go to git.otc.org, that's where you'll find all their code for everything, including like the website and stuff like that. So which is kind of cool. And when you go to the website itself, it tells you like, look, click on code, you'll go there. Click on donate, you can donate. And when you want to donate to a group like this, you can directly transfer to their bank. You can use a credit card, send an online, send an online donation, and you can do a real life donation if you know and trust someone from the project. Like, and trust someone from the project, you can meet them. They can give you a copy of the printed book. They can, you can hand them a roll of cash. You know what I'm saying? And that's another way that they take donations. And yeah, they have a PayPal, and then they talk about real life. If you live someone near from the project who you know and trust, you can give them your donation. It's important that you try to collect different donations from collective friends and crews before giving the money in, so that poor person doesn't have to make, like a bunch of little single, donation collections or whatever. So I think that's really cool. I think it's really smart. A lot of people would assume that a group like this that's anti-fascist, anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobic, anti-transphobic, anti-militaristic, that they would maybe be taking some kind of cryptocurrency or something. But it's just about like that old school, keeping it real style of doing stuff. Okay. Now, when we look at the services that they offer and they make a list, they talk about things like what email that they run, and they talk about the importance of having an email inbox and like how to use their AI email service and what technology it's based on. And they kind of try to explain why it's different from Gmail here. And like it's kind of like this one's like a matrix, but it's written in text, those little checkbox grid things. And yeah, I think like the biggest difference when you look at it is that they don't have ads and that they don't log your IP address, so they don't know where you're connecting from. And everything else, I would say, you're getting, you know what I'm saying? Like, it says available space, Gmail has no limits. That's not true anymore. Gmail actually does have limits, and then you have to pay. So when you hit the cap, you have to pay, and AI actually has no space limit, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know, like it's hard for me. I would probably use like a bunch of other criteria as well to explain the differences for a regular person. on what you get and what you lose. Like, do you have two-factor login? Do you have, this or that? Now, when you request the service, you get to like pick your domain that you would be running the service on as well, which is kind of cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like public, so I don't want to show it if it's not, but like I was gonna show, yeah, they don't actually show the front page for their mailing thing. So I'm not gonna show it. I'll look up like for next stream how much of the services are like publicly known. Like this is the place, and this is the software. Um, Here they talk about the blog that they have from the No Blogs project, noblogs.org, connecting radical people, non-commercial, anti-fascist, anti-sexist, privacy-oriented blog platform. And this is the technology that they're like running their stuff on, and the idea behind it, and you get the idea. So, and this is cool. It's like goes all the way back, goes all the way back to 2010. Wow, when's the last post on this thing? Oh yeah, it's really up to date, like mostly up to date. um, and yeah, like it's obviously alive. They have a list of friends, people who they rock with. Some of them are the groups that we've talked about, and they also have a list of like groups that we share something in common with. They say, and that's kind of cool too. So yeah, how am I doing on time? I don't want to go like too off the deep end. Let me see if there's any questions real quick. I've been talking a lot. And let me jump into the chat a little bit too. My bad, y'all. Look at that. So much love in the chat. Dancer Burritos, the Elixir. Mad props to y'all. EB Cyber 73. Yeah, we got the wide view here. These are some of the groups we're going to talk about. Yeah, no problem. Got that. Okay, cool. This looks fine. So far, everything's okay here in the chat. There's no like huge questions people might have. So, one thing that is really important is, let's say you do anything. You have any kind of technical skill. Like I went to this event this week, and it was called All Tech is Human panel on. It was supposed to be a panel on like cybersecurity and workforce stuff, and they have a thing called the Responsible Tech Mixer. Okay, let's see if I can find. And shout out to Alyssa Fox, who is the first time moderating. You did a great job moderating, Alyssa. And this is the All Tech is Human. I wouldn't call them hacktivists, but I would say that they have an event. And one of the events that they have is like a mixer where they have a bartender. It's open bar. You can RSVP. It was founded by this dude named David Ryan Polgar. And they have kind of like their own like, this is our idea of like what's what. And what they also have on All Tech is Human, just because I was at the thing, is they have a job board that they say are like responsible companies or responsible tech jobs, I guess, right? And it's from the community of people who work there. So if you're looking for a tech job, and you're looking for a tech job that's like, the site has got a lot going on, but on the very bottom, the job board section, you can see like a title of a job, and you can see like, I don't know if I would call like an OpenAI job responsible tech. I don't know, no disrespect to the software engineer front end at OpenAI. ChatGPT, you might know it. But it has a bunch of different things here. Yeah, I don't know how well they filter. No disrespect to some of these places. Like there's a job at Signal for an Android engineer, a product designer. I don't even know how up to date this is. It doesn't have dates on it. Like I've seen some of these jobs before. But anyway, if you want to look at a different kind of job board, All Tech is Human, and I was there, and I haven't checked. Let me just put a little link. All Tech is Human. Let me just put a little link to them on this on the screen. Boop. alltechishuman.org. And I don't know how fast. Like last time I checked on their YouTube, They had not uploaded when I was there, and it was like behind like 2 weeks or something. But maybe they edited or something. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Video uploads. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. So I bet like in 3 weeks, the video might magically pop up. Looks like they kind of have like a 2 to 3 week stagger on like when things come up. And anyway, so I was there and I was talking about like ways that you can get started in like this cybersecurity, like really being helpful. And it's really just having an open mind and caring, right? Like, for example, like if you know anything technical, you can volunteer and work with people who are really doing amazing stuff. Like the homies over at Merchant Works. It's one of my very favorite tech organizations. You know, Emergent Works are all returning citizens, and so these are folks who are formerly incarcerated or impacted by incarceration. And what will happen is they learn how to become software engineers. They learn how to become like project managers. They learn about, you know, turning their music interest into like electronic producing work and stuff. But it's really coders. There are all kinds of tech coders. And these folks are awesome. I'm on their Slack and I've contributed to their program and assisted in some of their like classes. Props to the folks of the Trap course. Thanks for having me and Crypto Harlem. And yeah, they're dope. And a couple of years back, Jack Dorsey donated like, I think like $1 million or something to Emergent Works. But their program is so strong and so big, and that was a while ago. And they always need support and help. So a cool way to be a hacktivist is just find programs like this where you are, or you know, Zoom or whatever kind of video conference in to like be like, how can I help you, and assist organizations like Emergent Works. To me, that's hacktivism. You know, it's like really making the world better in a way using your computer skills, right? And so the team of Emergent Works, it was started by Alex Quinn and continued on by the homie Army. They have like, this is the squad here. They have like a team of technologists who teach. They have like Eli's the director of programs initiative, just doing dope work. You know what I'm saying? They have a squad of software engineers or folks who are working in coding and tech in their day jobs, but volunteer so much of their energies to teach the courses. You know what I'm saying? At Emergent Works. So that's the squad at Emergent Works, and I'll just make sure I put their website on the stream so y'all can see it. And to me, like that's hacktivism right there. I also talked about a couple of folks from our Crypto Harlem's like, we have a accountability group, you know, and this came from the times of COVID. I was like, man, I'm inside and I can't go out, and everything in New York is like shut down. I really want to do something. Let me help people get their cybersecurity Security Plus, the CompTIA Security Plus certification. Back then, it was the 501 was about to sunset, and the 601, which is the current test. Every 4 years, basically, CompTIA gets a group of cybersecurity professionals together, and they look at the questions. They try to come up with a more relevant, stronger test that has to do with what the market is and where the world is. And yeah, it was pretty dope. And that's a program that we had at Crypto Harlem, and we still have our accountability group, where you know you put some money down and be like, I'm going to do this to show your interest, put some skin in the game. We rock with you, we work with you, we support you as best as we can, and then we get you in contact with other people. We meet up, and yeah, and we're going to be starting that program back up again very soon. Shout out to Three, who did a lot of work teaching folks and making sure that they get their certification. So thanks, Three, for working with me and all those students when we first started. I did the whole first year, and I invited, I think we had like over 100 people like in this, you know, group learning it. But one thing I learned was like, when I did it 100% free, people just, you know, life happens and people just bounce. But when you say like, look, you got to put some money down, we'll give it back to you. You know what I'm saying? But we just need to hold it to show you're serious. People are just like, yeah, I put money into this. I need to come out the other end and finish it, you know, which is dope. And so talking about the Knowledge House, share their tab. Knowledge House is where we found a lot of people who were signed up for a cybersecurity program there, who needed a mentor, and we worked with them. And props to the homie Ezra, who he came from Knowledge House and worked really hard and is now enjoying a dope job and life in cyber. So their whole thing, opportunities for all. And Knowledge House has this thing with New York City. They have a scholarship program. It's a fellowship program that you can apply for. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's the innovation. Is it innovation fellowship? Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's the job training program. And you can get certified in cybersecurity through the ISC certification. I don't know, no, just, like I wouldn't pick the certified in cybersecurity from ISC certification, but whatever, it's all good. They're probably like better known for their higher level cyber certifications, but that's their entry level. Everyone knows the CISSP, which everyone says you need a CISSP before you can like get an entry level job, which is ridiculous. Because the CISSP requires you to have 5 years of experience. It's so dumb when I see a job that's like 1 year of experience, but you must have a CISSP. It's like, that makes no sense. So, but the ISC has like an entry level cybersecurity cert, the CC, and Knowledge House. Basically, when you get into this program, if you get in, they basically pay you to learn this stuff. They pay you to get it on the subway, go to the Bronx, and get a job. And they have a cybersecurity and networking program, and it's dope. They're in the Bronx. If you want to be a hacktivist and you have any kind of cyber skills, hit up the Knowledge House. Be like, hey, can I be a mentor? Can I be a volunteer? Can I help you? You know what I'm saying? So that's another way you can do it. Let me just make sure that they're, so I like what they're doing. Their disruptive way of like giving back to the community in upper New York, in the Bronx, where hip hop was born. You know what I'm saying? 50 years ago, hip hop birthday, boom, boom, boom. Props to hip hop. Okay. So then again, and since I just brought it up, I'll just show you. This is the CISSP certification, very fancy website. Is it right for you? Do you have what it takes? Look, required work experience, 5+ years. So when you see a job and they say that you need 1-2 years experience and have a CISSP, understand that job does not know what they're talking about. Okay, and they don't actually know how cybersecurity works. It's like a pet peeve when I see you must have 10 years of experience. And I'm like, wait, in a technology that's only been around for 3 years, it makes no sense. So people, they just copy paste because they don't know how to hire. And there is a lot of stuff that the government of the United States is doing to try to create standards that make sense. But it's the Wild West right now. So if you are looking for a job in cybersecurity, don't get frustrated. People just literally don't know what they're doing. It just makes no sense. There is a thing called NICE that NIST is working on, and it is, not did I say NIST is working on? It is a program where it's a standard. It's the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It's a standard for how cybersecurity works, what the job titles are, because people just make up any kind of job. Like you're an analyst, cybersecurity analyst, that can mean anything. It doesn't make any sense. So the thing called NICE is trying to fix that and create job descriptions that make sense and titles that make sense. But it's not it's new, and it's not really adopted by the industry that is employers right now. But if you want to learn more about NICE, I'm gonna drop that here. Eventually, it'll be like that. Everything will be a lot nicer. See what I did there? Did you get it? Okay. So yeah, and I'll put that up on the stream. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get too far off the path. If you really want to be the hacktivist, and something we're gonna have no surprises, Crypto Harmful, we're gonna have a guide called the Hacktivist Cookbook on how to be the hacktivist, and we're gonna really be pushing that. You need to have like actual thank you for the laugh, heretic hoax. Props to you, you know, and the cat. So yeah. Yeah, I mean if you really want to like embody that energy, you need to have like certain skills that'll make you actually useful. You need to understand what's legal, what's illegal, and stay on the legal side of things. You need to understand like what's needed and what's not needed, and yeah, just don't do stuff that nobody needs. It's pretty basic, you know. And we're gonna get into all that stuff. You also need to know the mistakes, the triumphs, the ups and downs of other organizations, whether they were on the burn it all down for the lulz side of it, or whether they were on the like we actually have like a very clear manifesto and target of what we do and what we don't do. There's a lot of hacktivist groups out there. We're going to talk about them so you can understand what is this journey, who's done it before, and what is, in my opinion, the best way to do it, which is the Harlem way. You know, so yeah, you're definitely gonna publish that book. So. Let me see if I could find. Not, not mess with the, not mess with the video that I'm, the box that I'm in or whatever, the thing that I'm in. I'm trying to find. What is this? This is like a cool little, not what I was looking for. Man, I was looking for this one thing. I don't know where it is now. I need to get, I should have queued it up ahead of time. I had it in my tab and I was like, I always could find it. Nah, I guess I'm not always gonna be able to find it, but I would love to get your thoughts. Let me just stop the shares, bring myself back. I would love to get your thoughts on Plus Chaos, 10 years of hacking and media activism, and what you think about the Institute of Network Cultures, which is cool. Let me just like leave them on the screen, maybe as like a way to end it up. And it's cool. I can't wait to like talk more about groups all around the world that are doing this stuff. And you know, if you want to like dive in English to a bunch of resources and information on what they call network culture, this isn't a bad place to start. And if you need like the technology from the hacktivist, write an application and see if you can get, you know, if you read the manifesto, if you agree with their manifesto, write an application in and see if you can get an account. You know, when you want to request a service, it's just like basically like a form you fill out. For example, just going back to the AI form, you would say like, I want a single email on the server, or I want a website, or I want to have my own custom mailing list, you know? And then they're like, okay, what do you want the mailing list to be? And you can pick any of these domains, right? So maybe I would say like, I want to be like Crypto Harlem at crud.org, you know? And the list owner, this is the name of the admin. And so I would put like, yo, I'm Gemini Matt at Crypto Harlem. And then, yeah, I want to use it as a newsletter for something that I'm doing, or I'm sending mass mailings out to a large amount of people. And then here you have to answer these questions. This is a real person that's going to read this. How and where did you hear about us? What type of person are you, and what are your activities? And why did you choose us instead of others? And then you have to like understand that, you know, it's kind of like, it's not a test, but it's like, this is to not just rule out bots, but just people who just don't belong. You're like, this is what I read about your manifesto that really like, I was, I found like, you know, an affinity towards, or I was like an ally with, or was an idea that I thought was dope. And this is who I am. So I heard about y'all, blah, blah, blah. This is who I know that is already a member, you know? It tells you that you have to write in Italian or English. And otherwise run what you're saying through an online translator, right? And then like a human being really does get back to you, and you'll get granted access to a service or not. And one thing that I'll talk about when I talk about all these different hacktivist groups that offer technology and services is how they vet and like how you apply. And I think it's also really interesting. It's like all the different ways that they try to make their stuff, you know, how it works, how it runs, how much it costs, all that other stuff. I think it's really cool. All right, so listen, we're at 2 o'clock with our normal ending times. Thanks for joining me in the studio. I'm gonna put my little video off. I guess I have to go into the, I'll switch cameras because there is no hiding from the wide cam. Boom. So I'll go off screen for a second, you know. Uh-oh, I'm back. I became the hacktivist. Okay, so yeah, become the hacktivist, find your inner hacktivist, use your tech skills to help people. Thanks for joining Crypto Harlem, and appreciate y'all. We're gonna end it. We're gonna have a video on predictive policing, and we'll end the series with a video on predictive policing every time, like a different little thing on it. So you can also learn about that. So you're getting 2 for 1 with your time. So encrypt, 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 stay safe. And I'll see y'all in our Discord. I'll see y'all on cryptoharlem.com. We got some new merch that's dropping. We got some new guides that are being published that are free on our resources. So stay up. Peace.
People have been drawing maps since the early 1800s to try and understand where and when crime happens, in the hopes of better predicting where and when it will happen again. Today's crime maps are made by computers and fed by detailed crime data. Police departments routinely scan their precincts for hotspots, places experiencing a disproportionate amount of criminal activity. With the help of these maps, many departments simply put cops on the dots in order to prevent future crimes. This hotspot analysis has become more sophisticated, leading to predictive policing. Most predictive policing begins with a grid, dividing a city into squares that can be as small as half a block. Beginning with data of previous crimes, computer programs create a forecast for each square, estimating the risk of a crime occurring there during a precinct's next 4-hour shift. But beyond that, predictive policing systems differ in their approaches. Predpol was one of the first predictive policing tools on the market, and its forecasts are based solely on crime data, what kind of crime happened, where, and when. It builds on techniques for forecasting earthquakes, with the aftershocks of a crime reverberating across the city's grid. Then there's risk terrain modeling, which draws on the same basic crime data as well as features of the city, like proximity to a public transportation hub, a collection of bars, the current weather, or even the phases of the moon. HunchLab uses the same advanced factors as risk terrain modeling and adds a learning algorithm, a tree-based technique for assigning risk to grid cells. You can think of this like a game of 20 questions. Have there been complaints about disorderly conduct nearby recently? Is there a concentration of bars or liquor stores nearby? Is there a subway stop nearby? Answering each question sends you down a different branch of the tree, the end of the process being a risk value. Ultimately, HunchLab creates hundreds of these trees and combines them into a forest to create a robust forecasting tool. Will we ever really be able to predict crimes before they happen? Maybe not. But even the idea prompts important questions about how we manage police resources.